my mind.
Every day, man.
We've been through the high and low.
We've been to hell and back.
So you can never stop my shine.
Never, ever, ever. Ever, ever, ever.
And I say you're my grind.
Every day.
Welcome to The Ambitious Obsession. My name is Orchid Brown. I will be your host today. Today we have a wonderful guest. His name is Goliath Paw. He is a rapper. And so thank you so much for joining us today.
Hey, thanks for having me.
I'm so glad. I know we've been trying to connect for a while now, but with COVID, it has been incredibly difficult.
Yeah. But you know what? When it happens, so that means the timing is right.
Exactly, and I'm so glad you made it out this weekend. So
no
glad.
problem.
All right, so for our audience, they don't know very much about you, and most of you might have already known about Goliath Paw. He's been in the industry for a while, but today he is a wonderful guest on this podcast episode. He's going to be telling us a bit more about himself. So, tell us about yourself, your background, and where you're from.
Well, I grew up in Ottawa, but my background is West African. Was born in the Gambia, and my dad, he's from Liberia. So he actually fled the war. There was a civil war back in the 80s, and he met my mom, had me and my brother, and then we moved to a northern town. So we were sponsored by a family up in South River, which is northern Canada. So we left there because of the war, got sponsored, and I grew up in a small town. We were the only black family, so that was quite the experience. But never experienced any racism from any of the kids, so that was pretty cool. And then my older sister, got sponsored, and she came and lived with us in South River as well. And we ended up moving to Ottawa when I was in grade 4, and that was a big culture shock because I'd never seen any black people. Obviously, I was born in Africa, but I don't remember it because we left when I was 3 years old. So seeing black people again for the first time, it was pretty interesting.
I understand that.
Yeah. So we then grew up in Ottawa and, got into music with my friends when I was a teenager and haven't looked back since.
Okay, well, you know what? I knew you from back in the day, and I did not know you were interested in music until you started posting up about it. Mm-hmm. Until you changed your name on, Facebook and Instagram, you were Goliath Paw. I did not know. So I feel like in that time, you were definitely embodying the saying, moving in silence. Yes, yeah. So when you launched, boom. People were like, what?
Exactly, yeah. I kind of popped out into the scene and exactly. Nobody really knew. Unless you were like my close friends. But yeah. I left Ottawa at the age of 17 and I actually went back up north to North Bay, which is close to the small town I grew up in, and I went to school there. So when I was in high school in Ottawa, I was actually doing music with a group of friends, but we weren't like promoting it or pushing it out. So I think that was more of me just like practicing and getting it really in. Mm-hmm. And then when I went to college, I stopped doing music altogether, just focused on schoolwork. But it was always in the back of my head. I always, sometimes I would do a little bit of recording, but it wasn't like when I was in high school with my friends trying to do it all the time. Mm-hmm. And then once I was done school, I moved back to Ottawa. And my best friend at the time, he said, hey, you know what? I was listening to some music on my iPod and one of your songs came on. And he was like, I really liked it. Would you consider trying to do this professionally? Because I know you used to do it when you were in high school. And I told him, I was like, you know what? I was always interested in it, but I never really thought about doing it professionally. And he said, I'll be your manager. And he was my best friend and I was like, oh, I don't know about that, bro, and then he was like, if I can prove to you I can be professional and be your manager, then would you consider it? And I said, you know what, let's just go for it. Let's try it. And we did it. And he taught me a lot. He did a lot of research. I went to university for marketing, so I learned branding and all of that. So it was easy for me to apply what I learned into the music. And we did a lot of research first. So that way, when we did say, hey world, this is Goliath Paw, yes. It already looked like I was a professional artist, looked like I was backed by a label because the artwork was professional, The songs were mixed and mastered by a 2-time Juno Award winner. So we really went like professional with it. So yeah, that's why I look like that.
I have so much to ask you based on all of that. Who was the person that mastered your music at the time? You said that he was is it a he or she?
It's a he. Yeah. His name is Steve Major.
Steve Major.
He's based in Toronto. Yeah.
And he's a 2-time award-winning Juno artist?
Yeah. No, engineer.
Engineer. Well, congratulations for you to land that. That's a big deal. So let's go back to all of the things that you had to say. First things first, I really appreciated the part where you gave a chance to someone that knew you the longest. I mean, there are so many artists that, goes into the industry and they have people who don't know who they are and they're supposed to support them. So then they tend to not take the time to get to know the artist as an individual and try to keep that authenticity going forward. They then turn around and try to kind of change their entire look, their image, and who they are, and try to portray somebody that they're not, and hope that will stick and will last longer. The fact that you had the opportunity to work with someone that's known you the longest from high school, so he's known you from before you got to where you are now, and is able to transition you and build you up based on the person he knows. I feel like that's going to further your career a little bit, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, it definitely did. He gave me a lot of confidence to do what I do now, and I actually credit him with a lot of like who I am and who I became, because he really pumped me up. He really said, hey, this is how you got to do it. This is, you can do it, you can do it, you can do it. And he gave me the confidence to pursue the music.
Okay, what's the name of this manager? He sounds amazing.
His name is Giovanni Thomas.
Well, thank you for that. I was like, you keep talking about these people. Let's name drop. You also mentioned that you lived in, what was it, River?
South River.
South River, and you mentioned that, you did not experience any racism living there. I do like that you brought that up, because even when I first came to Canada, I lived in Quebec City. And there were so many times where people were like, oh, Quebec City is very racist, but I lived there for about 2 years. And I did not experience any racism at all. The people were super nice. They were very helpful. Anything I needed, they were able to work with me. Plus, I was an English person because I'm from Jamaica. We don't speak French. So you would think that they would be angry or upset or throw stones and spit on you, for example, just because you're an English speaker. But the fact that I was trying to speak the language, they were super helpful and super supportive. So I have to say that I did not experience any racism as well until I actually came to Ottawa.
Yeah, same.
It's really weird because Ottawa is diverse and they have so many different cultures. So
I think, unless you're in the backwoods of like the deep south of the United States where there's like historical racism, I really think that unless you're like in the city where it's really diverse, then you start to experience it because you have all these different cultures and all these different people, and you know what I mean? They all kind of clash with each other.
Okay. Well, next point that I wanted to bring up, and sounds like I'm rushing through this, but I was like, I'm trying to remember everything he just said. You had also said that you did marketing in college. What college did you go to, or was it university?
Yeah, well, I went to Canadore College first. Okay. I did Rec and Leisure, and then I did a 1-year business certificate in order to transfer to university, which was another university up there called Nipissing University. And I did 3 years, so the 1-year business in college and then 3 years in university, so that equated to 4 years. And I did business marketing as the major. Okay,
and do you find that doing the business marketing was extremely helpful to your career?
Oh yeah, very, very. Because I came out the gate knowing more than other artists. Okay. I seen, before we launched, we did a lot of homework. I picked 5 artists, one that was close to me, one that I could touch, one that's gonna be up here, and then the 5th one is like a Drake or somebody that's like already out there, right? So you study the guys that are close to you and you see what they're doing. And I saw what the successful artists were doing, and I saw what the people who are just putting out music were doing. And there's a huge difference just based on how they release the music, the quality of the music, their branding online, if they have a website, how often they promote. So we took all that in, and then we just, picked the best ones and did that.
You sound like you did a lot of research. I really like that.
Yeah, you have to be prepared.
Good. You're taking this very seriously. All right. So you said that you moved from Ottawa to North Bay.
Yeah.
And now you live in Toronto or close to Toronto.
Yeah.
And did you do this move specifically for your career, or you just wanted to change?
Yeah, I did. So when I had came back from North Bay after school, like I said, we started doing the music. And when I released the music, I was in Ottawa. So I got to know everybody in the Ottawa music scene. I really entrenched myself in that, started doing shows, got to know a lot of the promoters, a lot of the different artists, started networking with a lot of the artists. And then I started putting on my own shows and putting other artists on. So we did these competitions where people would, it was mostly new artists, but the difference was instead of getting like a big headliner to do it, we would pick an established artist in Ottawa to be the headliner. So we always gave people in Ottawa a chance. We've sold out every show that we've done. We did about 5 shows in Ottawa, and we even did 2 in Toronto, and it was called the Cap City Showdown and the T-Dot Showdown. Sold those out as well. And we also did 2 singers editions here in Ottawa as well to put the singers on. So yeah, I really put it on for the city. And when I felt that I was maxed out my potential here, then it was time for me to move to Toronto. So I started, my manager, Giovanni, he lived in Newmarket. So I started going there every weekend, starting to get to know people within the scene. And then when it was time for me to just pick up and move because it wasn't worth going every weekend again, then I just grabbed my stuff and moved over there. And I've been there since.
Okay, so there's a lot you just said. Again, I'm gonna have plenty of questions based on everything you just said. So, I mean, based on the person that I know you to be, I did not think that you would be this amazing at networking. Do you, because you come off as more of an introvert, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And because you come off as an introvert, did you find it difficult to network the way that you did?
No, because in my head I have this thing, right? If you're going to get it done, you have to get it done. So if I walk into the room as Goliath Paw, I know there's a certain brand and image that people expect from seeing my videos and seeing me online and seeing, you know, how I talk in the videos or even the rap style, seeing me on stage. I'm very energetic. I play with a full band. It's a very live show. So if I walk in a room, everyone's going to expect a certain way, which is kind of like my alter ego. So I wouldn't say I'm like introverted, but you know, if you're with your friends, you're more extroverted, whatever the case is.
Yeah.
But when I'm in Goliath Paw mode, it's kind of like an alter ego. I get out there. It's very easy for me to meet people, sell myself. You know, it's kind of like that person that's in you that you want to be, but
it just comes out.
But it comes out because I'm allowed to, you know, use music as a way for me to push it out.
I like that. I really do like that a lot. So tell me about your first show in Ottawa. I assume it's Mercury Lounge. I think I saw a picture of you at Mercury Lounge. Was that your first show?
No, I've never done a show at Mercury Lounge.
You've never done a show at Mercury Lounge?
No. So at the time, the places that were doing shows were Babylon and Ritual for hip hop. Those were pretty much, if you're in the Ottawa hip hop scene or supporting people that you have friends who do it, then you would have definitely went there and seen them do a show.
Okay. Well, you know, I just had to bring that up because you know
it could be a Mercury Lounge. You know, a lot of people book shows at different venues and things, but I personally never
done a Mercury Lounge.
Done Mercury Lounge, no.
All right. Well, like I said, the only reason why I'm bringing this up is because, you know, I've never received an invitation. I'm just saying, like, how come you didn't invite me?
A personal invitation?
Yeah, I thought we were friends.
Hey, I put it up on Facebook. I advertise it. I promote it. So.
Do I creep your Facebook all the time? You need to like send me a specific invitation. Make me feel special.
Okay. Now you'll get one.
Now you're telling me you've done all these shows in Ottawa and I've never seen not one.
I know.
Not one.
I thought you were my friend. You don't even support.
I thought you were my friend.
You knew I was doing music. You knew I was doing music, but you never came into a show.
Again, you surprised me, but still, you didn't show me any love whatsoever. But
right,
I'm still glad that you
time.
came to show some love to the show.
Of course.
And based on everything that you are saying about yourself, you wear a lot of hats. Like you're into production, business management, managing other artists. Even though you're just booking their gigs and, you know, trying to promote them, that's still management. And so, I'm not sure where your career is going to take you, but I can genuinely see you progressing in a sense that you will then start to actually have a production company of your own for music. And that also includes promotion of local artists and, booking out venues and basically everything that you're already doing, but without an enterprise behind you.
Yeah, no, that's actually, I love working with other artists. I love sharing the knowledge that I gained because when you first step into this game and you know nothing, everyone's there to take advantage of you. Like literally everyone at every single level. Doesn't matter who you are, if you're Jay-Z or if you're just starting out, every level there's going to be someone trying to snake you. So like I said, when we started the Cap City Showdown, a lot of new artists, was performance competition. So I got to know a lot of these guys and these girls, and just passing them knowledge and just helping them and being that mentor. It's really good because then they get to learn a lot and they get to skip all the steps and not make the same mistakes I made. And it also helps me because I get to refresh my memory with everything and all the knowledge that I've learned, and that in turn helps me, push me forward and makes me research where I can go for my next level as well. So
Yeah.
everyone gets helped.
I like how you kind of broke down your growth in all of this, because the only way that you can pass on knowledge to anyone who is new in the industry is if you have looked at every circumstances that you have been through and learned from it and is now able to pass that information on to someone else. So I really love how, you're taking this moment in time to show me your growth just by the way that you're talking. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no worries.
All right, so we're gonna go back. You had mentioned that you left Africa when you were 3 years old.
Yes.
Have you been back since?
Yes, I went back when I believe I was 21 or 22. So I was still in college. And my mom used to go back every year. So she took my youngest brother the 1 year, and then the next year she took me. And it was quite the experience. It was eye-opening. It was challenging at some times as well. I really understood and recognized the privilege that I have. And it's funny because when I was in university, we had some international students, my friends that were Nigerian, and international students pay twice as much to attend school here than we do. So they were really well off. They always had money and whatever. And I used to look at them and be like, man, you guys are so privileged, da 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 da. You can afford to do this, this, and that, and not have to worry. And then when I went to Africa, everybody was saying that about me. So it was good. It was good for the soul. It was good for the ego.
It kind
you
of
get
humbles
checked.
you a bit.
Yeah, you definitely get humbled.
Oh, for sure. That's the one thing I love about being back home. Not about the part where, they think I'm privileged, but mostly about just you live in Ottawa and Toronto, which is fast paced.
Yeah.
They're doing too much. Everyone wants to live this classism. Everybody wants to do the most. They drive the flashiest car. They dress in the most designer's clothes. And honestly, when you go back home and you're just hanging out in the country, it's beautiful. It's nice. The people are nice as well.
Yeah.
And so you get to just talk to people from all different backgrounds. Some of them don't have the education. Some people might be able to read and might not be able to read. And you have the most interesting time going to parties with them, listening to the same types of music, having the same types of conversations. So I definitely understand where you're coming from in the sense that you went back home and it was just like a humbling feeling, but at the same time, you got to connect with your motherland.
Yeah.
And the
it was
people
really
in
nice.
your motherland.
Exactly.
And you don't feel different. You just feel like you're one of them.
Yeah, you felt at home.
Yeah, until of course they tell you, wow, you're so privileged.
Till they say, oh, I want that, I want that, I want
I want that, and then literally take the clothes off your back.
Yeah. But when we go, we bring like a bunch of suitcases for clothes and stuff for them, You can't show up empty-handed.
Then they'll realize you really aren't that privileged.
Yeah.
If you show up empty-handed. All right, so how long have you been a rapper?
So like I said, I started in high school probably when I was like 15.
Okay.
I remember I spent some time in the States because my dad was living there, and I used to always write lyrics, just not even paying attention, just writing lyrics, writing poems. And then when I had come back to Ottawa for school, because I used to go visit him for the summer, I remember one of my friends, Enoch, he hit me up, and we were walking through the schoolyard one day, and he was like, hey, do you ever write rap lyrics? And I was like, yo, as a matter of fact, I do. He's like, we should get the guys together and see, because I think some of them do it too. So we were like, I think like maybe 14, 15 years old. So I was like, okay, cool. I was so excited. I went home and I had this little computer mic. It was garbage. And I taped it to like the side of like the computer table. And we all sat on like the corner of my bed and we'd all sit here and just like rap into it. And I got this bootleg recording program and recorded like a mixtape from it. And it was pretty good. It took us a while, but I had put it all together, whatever, and we started handing it out all over the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And people were liking it. Like, I remember my friend said he went on the bus and he was like, somebody came up to him and was like, "Oh, are you Chef from Propaway?" You know, it got around the neighborhood and whatnot. All the younger kids, they were like proud of us, you know, they're all like, "Cool, we want to do that too." So yeah, that was where I got like my humble beginnings.
Yes.
And like I said, when I turned 17 and I finished school, I moved away. Didn't do music probably until I was 26 when I moved back to Ottawa when I was finished school. And then, like I said, my friend, he asked if I wanted to do professionally. So I guess from the age of 26 up until now, so like 7 years. But you know, there's some gaps in between. There's some years where I had to stop and focus on work.
Round it up to 10. We'll count that. So what was the name of that group then from high school?
So we called ourselves Propaway.
Propaway.
Yeah, because I was from Draper and then the other guys are from Pathway. So we just Propaway, I don't know.
Propaway. I like
Someone
it.
came up with
it's kind of creepy. I like it. Oh my goodness. I wish I kind of heard your beats back in the day.
Yeah, well, we rapped all on like industry beats. So like people who were artists who were releasing beats at that time. So like, you know, like G Unit, 50 Cent, Mobb Deep, all these guys, Fabulous. So we just took all like the hottest beats of the hottest songs at that time, got the instrumentals, and just wrote our verses and recorded them on top.
Okay. You gotta have the mixtapes. You gotta.
You have
That's
to,
how, you know, Lil Wayne did it. You had Jules Santana who came out with his mixtape back in the day, and it was so good because he had Chris Brown on it.
Yeah, that was the era of mixtapes too, so that's what we were doing.
Yeah, I remember that. So when you were, you know, coming into yourself as a rapper, who was your influence?
My influences, I guess back then, would have been Fabulous. I really liked the way he rapped. Dang, I don't even know who else. I mean, I think it was really just Fabulous because his punchlines, the way he rapped, the way his inflections and whatnot, and his style too. He was very style conscious. I like that. I was really into Cameron as well, but not so much his rapping style, more of just his image and his influence. And I would probably say Jay-Z, just because, you know, every rapper has watched Jay-Z progress from being very young up until now and still running the game.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say those two guys, Jay-Z and Fabulous, when I first started.
Okay, well that's awesome. Now let's talk about your name, Goliath Paw. Please explain where you came up with that name, why that resonated with the inner you, in a sense.
Okay, well, so I got the nickname Goliath in high school.
Okay.
My name is Gamaliel,
Yes.
but it's spelled Gamaliel, but we pronounce it Gamaliel. So Gamaliel, Gamaliel, when you see it, how I say it, so everyone always gets confused. So everyone just calls me Gam for short. But my friend in high school, he was like a joker. Okay. And he used to always make fun of everybody and just like, you know, throw things at you and see how you respond. So he was trying to say my name one time and I was like, bro, that's not how you say it. But you know, everyone's around, so he wants to clown me. I think you know him, Izana.
I might have remembered him.
Okay.
I left high school, only remember certain types of people. Don't judge me. But if I did see his face, I would know
I think you would.
I remember faces more than I remember names.
Yeah, so he would always just like clown people and do whatever. So he just started throwing words at me, different names with like the G, and he's like, Goliath, Goliath. And then he's like, oh yeah, your name is Goliath. So I was like, oh, I actually like that. So when it came time for us to pick rap names, I remember that and I was like, okay, I'm gonna pick Goliath because first of all, the name, when you say it, it's not a name you hear or say all the time, right? So it's awkward to say like Goliath. You know, when you say that to somebody, it also means like a person of large influence And then we all know David and Goliath. Goliath was the giant.
Yes.
You know, they have the ride at Canada's Wonderland. Goliath, everybody knows Goliath means big. So that's me. I want to be big. I want to have a large influence. I want to, I want to dominate. So that nickname was perfect for when I wanted to pick my rap name. And the PAW stands for Proper Way, which was the rap group that we had started, right, when we were teenagers. And I chose PAW because Goliath is just so plain, but if you put the PAW, it makes it more unique. And you got to know where you come from to know where you're going. So I hold that Proper Way, my humble beginnings, my friends. I have those memories with me, so that it like propels me and pushes me forward. So I know this is where I started and this is where I can take it.
Wow. Like you really put some thought into this. I kept thinking Goliath Paw. I think maybe the paw is an ode to Snoop Dogg, but now that you've explained it a little bit, I kind of, understand that it's your history.
It's my history.
It's where you started, and you add it into your name. And I really do like the concept of Goliath.
Thank you. Yeah.
You did a really good job at selecting your names, for sure. All right. So based on everything that you're saying to me right now, it doesn't seem like you went into this with any fears or doubts. Like you just went into it and you were like, let's go. You gave it your 110% and you were not going to fail. So did you ever experience any fears and doubts on this journey?
Oh yeah, all the time. When I first started, because we had no idea what we were doing. I remember sitting there, me, Giovanni, and then our other friend, Kelly. It was just the three of us. And we're like, okay, so how are we going to do this? Where do we start? And Giovanni had heard that if you could book 3 shows, you can call it a tour. So we reached out to one promoter and he was like, yeah, you guys can be on the show. I was like, okay, cool, that's one. And then we said, do you know anybody else we can talk to? He gave us the name of somebody else. And within like that hour, we got 3 shows. So like, okay, we can call it a tour. Started doing that, and by the end of the summer, we went on a 3-month tour all over Ontario and Quebec. So that was like super crazy, from sitting there not knowing how to even book one show to ended up with a 3-month tour. By the end of it, we were selling out all the shows. People were calling us and saying, hey, can you come play my show? Hey, can you come be a headliner? Can you come do this? Right? So it all kind of just like snowballed. But yeah, there was fear. There was a lot of doubt. Like I said, my friend helped me build confidence within myself. Before I go up before every show, I tell myself 2 things are going to happen. Either you're going to look stupid or the crowd's going to look stupid. And I say the crowd's going to look stupid because I'm an unknown artist. So when and I've been in the crowd too and seen guys come up and be like, yo, who's this guy? Who is he? Oh, is he going to be good? You know what I mean? They judge you. So I say, I'm not the one that's going to look stupid. You guys are going to look stupid for doubting me. So I put on the show of a lifetime. And by the end, people are dancing, they're jumping around, they're saying things back to me. It's a real experience. It's not just a hip hop show where people, you go to a hip hop show and the guys are rapping at you. They're standing around, they're trying to be thuggish. No, I play with the full band, like I said. It's very lively. I jump around on stage. I have a whole show carved out. I take you on like an emotional journey based on the songs. And it's just a big party. So doing all of that helps with the confidence and helps build me up. But there was definitely fear. Even to this day, you always have that in the back of your head. Okay. But you got to overcome it.
So you basically just worked with your fear. You did not allow the fear to stop you from trying.
Yeah, I let the fear push me.
Push you. I love that. Thank you for sharing that.
No problem.
So how many songs have you created through this 10-year journey that you have under Goliath Paw, of course? And have you dropped an album at any point in the past 7 years?
I haven't dropped an album, but I dropped 2 EPs.
Okay.
So the difference is an album is something that's more cohesive, whether it's going to be the beats or the subject matter or all together. An EP is just a collection of different singles that you can put out so that people can see the range of what you do. Okay. So I've released 2 EPs. I have about 8 singles online. And then I have just a ton of unreleased tracks that, I have. Some of them I'm still working. Some of them I don't touch anymore. And then I have, right now, The plan is to release, a song every 2 weeks or so. So I have about 25 songs in the vault, and we're going over them. Some of them are getting mixed, some of them are getting mastered. But I want to get 52 altogether so that I would have a full year of songs to release and just keep that consistency.
That's awesome. That is really awesome. So now we're going to kind of get into the kind of artists that you would like to work with. Do you have a top 5 artists that you would love to work with as a musician?
Yeah, I mean, my favorite artist ever is Michael Jackson, but obviously you can't work with him, right?
Yeah.
R.I.P. But
Still love you.
yeah. But if we're gonna talk hip hop, my favorite artist would be T.I. He's my favorite rapper. Jay-Z, because he's been leading the way in showing artists how to do it, how to be moguls all the way up until his 50s. He's not stopping. Drake, of course, because Drake's from Canada. He changed the game and he's taken over. Kanye West, because you can see me, I'm not your typical hip hop hood kind of guy. Kanye West, really, when he came in the game, he had his backpack. 50 Cent was leading the whole gangster thing, but Kanye said, no, you don't have to be a gangster to make it in rap. The guy made a song called Jesus Walks, which was a club banger, you know what I'm saying? So Kanye West, because he showed that you can be yourself and still make it in the rap game. And Lil Wayne, I love Lil Wayne's style. You can see my dreads, piercings. I get my stuff from Lil Wayne. He's very influential, especially for my generation of rappers. He's a rapper's rapper. He can rap his ass off, and I love his image. So that's my top 5.
I love your top 5. I thought you were gonna throw in, Justin Bieber.
No, the Biebs is too young. He's talented, but he's too young. I ain't looking at him.
You see him on all these rappers' tracks. I thought maybe,
Yeah, because he's popular. They want to cross-reference their fans, right?
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that Tory Lanez wasn't on that list.
No, I'm not.
You mentioned all the OGs, the top dogs.
Yeah, well, those are all the guys that, besides Drake, those are all the guys I grew up listening to. I'm not really a fan of Tory Lanez. He's not unique enough. Yeah. Plus that, I don't rock with that.
For sure. So which one of these top 5 artists would you love to open a show for?
Oh, that'd be easy. That'd be Drake, obviously. He's the biggest artist in the world, especially, one of the top artists in the world, not even just hip hop. So I feel like if I ever had the opportunity to open up for him with my band and how I can put on a stage show, it would not only have them remember who I am, but I can take that with my marketing skills and my advertising, and I can spin that and propel myself even higher.
Okay, that's beautiful. So now I would like to know, how can the audience follow you, find your music?
Well, if y'all want to follow me, goliathpaw.com. You'll see all my EPs, all my music videos, they're all on there. And then, of course, social media, Goliath Paw is my handle for all of them. And that'd be Twitter, Instagram, Facebook.
Okay. And when should we be expecting merch?
I got merch. You go on the website and you can order the merch. I got t-shirts, I got booty shorts, I got glow-in-the-dark wristbands. Yeah.
You forgot the island people, the pom-pom shorts. Not just the booty short, you need the pom-pom shorts too.
Shorts, yeah.
Well, I'm actually going to check it out because I would like to have a nice white sweater that just says Goliath Paw on it. I think that would be really nice. So I am going to check out your website, Goliath Paw, and order myself a nice sweater. It's now getting colder.
Yes, autumn, right?
Exactly. And now fall is here. Winter's just around the corner. You need that sweater. So I'm definitely going to order something.
Perfect.
And I do want to thank you so much for being a guest on the Ambitious Obsession Show.
I had a great time. Thank you for having me.
It's so nice to just kind of listen to your story and your history and the amount of growth that you went through. So honestly, thank you. I hope that whoever's watching this video will learn something from Goliath Paw today.
Yeah, and y'all don't be scared. Hit me up. Like I said, I mentor a lot of artists. I have a lot of guys call me Big Bro. So yeah, send me a DM if you have any questions. I'm always down to help.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
No problem.
I grew up with the boys in the hood. Yeah. A lot of things we did weren't good. Posted after dark, lighter with a spark. Spend a lot of time is what